Stampers. Today we're going to make this card, and the idea of this card came from this card, which is Mary Polson's swap card that I got at Leadership last month, and I absolutely love it. It's so beautiful. But I'm going to make mine into a Valentine's Day card, so let's go ahead and get busy. Okay, so here's the supplies we're going to use today. We're going to start with the Very Vanilla, and this is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. This is going to make your base card. And then we're going to need a piece of cherry cobbler, and this is cut at 4.25 by 5.5. And then the layers, this is the designer paper called Love Letter, and this is cut at 2 7/8 by 4. And it's going to layer right over top of the Very Vanilla, and this is cut at 3 1/8 by 4.25. And then we're using the cherry cobbler, the 1/2-inch seam binding ribbon. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to emboss this cherry cobbler. So let me go ahead and get the Big Shot. Okay, so we got the Big Shot, and we got our multi-purpose platform, and this is no tabs right here, so it's just opened all the way up. And then you need 2 cutting pads, your acrylic cutting plates. Put one down. And then the cherry cobbler is going to go into the framed Tulips Embossing folder. And I'm just going to position this right into the folder, like that. And then I'm going to layer the acrylic cutting pad over top of that. And I'm going to send this through the Big Shot. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so let me go ahead and move the Big Shot out of the way. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut along this edge that got embossed with the embossing folder. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and stamp our love. And this stamp is from the Valentine Define stamp set. And we're going to go ahead and stamp that with the early Espresso. And then we're going to go ahead and punch this out with 1 3/8 by 5/8 oval punch. Okay, so then we're just going to use the Scallop Oval punch and punch out that. And then with the cherry cobbler, we're going to punch out the 1 3/4 by 7/8 oval punch. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and sponge all these pieces with the early Espresso. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we got all our pieces sponged, and now it's time to put the card together. So now we're just going to layer this piece on top of the Very Vanilla. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add our 1/2-inch seam binding ribbon. Just going to tie a knot over here to the left. tails. Okay, you just adjust the ribbon. I guess right about there looks good. Okay, so then you're just going to go ahead and attach this piece to your base card. I find that adding the adhesive first to the card, it doesn't squish the tulips. Let me hold it up here. Okay. Alright, then we're just going to go ahead and pop some dimensionals on the back side of the Very Vanilla layer. And then this piece should layer right between those framed tulips, right in the center, like that. Okay, and then we're just going to go ahead and layer these pieces together. Then layer this over top of the Scallop Oval. And then pop that up on a dimensional. And put that right over top of the ribbon, so it looks like that. Okay, so then I have the Adornments, the vintage flowers, and these colors come in Very Vanilla, Baja Breeze, and then the Rose Red. So we're going to use the vanilla, and what I did is, on my samples, I just took the sponge and I just kind of dabbed the flower, just to kind of add some color to it. And then you can add a glue dot, but I'm going to go ahead and add a dimensional back of that. And just set that right over to the right-hand side, like that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add some basic pearls to a few of the circles on the designer paper. Maybe one more. Let's put one over here. Okay, isn't that pretty? Okay, so there's that one, and then this is the one that we got the idea from Mary Polson's card. Okay, so thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you later. Bye!